sneakers, when in reality I had never really paid any attention to them. I'm ashamed to say that I never wore them again. The bullying persisted for many more years in many small, petty ways, but it wasn't until I was in 5th grade that I was targeted for who I was, rather than what I wore. I decided I wanted to be a cheerleader. I remember when the coach of the team came into my class and asked for a show of hands from everyone who wanted to join the squad. I was the only boy to raise his hand, and was forever branded a faggot because of that. I asked my teacher, who I now realize shouldn't have been teaching anyone anything, what the word meant. When I explained that one of the other boys had said it to me, she did absolutely nothing. The next year, the ridicule had become so bad that my best friend at the time told me that he couldn't be friends with a faggot and a loser, and when I insisted that we discuss the matter, he told me I was being gay. Suffice it to say, the next year I did not return to that school. I had been bullied before, but for the first time, I was a victim. The acceptance and compassion that I had hoped for from public school was virtually non-existent, as I spent the 7th and 8th grades constantly being called a fag, being pushed around, and rejected for being different. In 7th grade, I realized that I was gay. I hid it to the best of my ability, though like many of my fellow gays, the closet that I was in was made of glass. To my shame, I waited more than 3 long years to share one of the most beautiful aspects of who I am. I came out during my sophomore year of high school. Still, gaining acceptance, at least from the straights, was about as easy as singing opera. I had my work cut out for me. I remember being pushed around the hallway, spat upon a few times, frequently suffering the lackluster invective of the more bigoted students at my school, and even being threatened in school. I used to walk down different hallways just so that I wouldn't have to see the kids that bullied me. I remember being utterly unable to speak when someone threatened me that I was going to be picking my teeth up off the floor for being gay. I only wish I had realized then just how beautiful being gay is. And as misguided as the bullies were, I feel sorry for them. To show such remorselessness and cruelty is to live with unfathomable rage and self-hatred, and that's much worse than any word that's been used to hurt me. Despite these injustices, I proudly stand here speaking to all of you because I believe it's absolutely necessary. And as I stand here, I'm reminded of a very sobering fact, that lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender teens are 5 times more likely to commit suicide than heterosexual teenagers, and that suicide is the 3rd highest cause of death in young adults. No one has the right to make you feel like your only option in life is suicide. And while the staggering amount of teen and gay suicide is absolutely tragic, it poses a message that we of all people must never forget. There comes a time when you have to decide between what is right and what is easy. For many of us, that time is right now. I've been there. Last year, I was hospitalized twice for my depression. I was sent into intensive outpatient after I skipped school to plan my own suicide. At the time, there was no hope, but I made it through with a lot of help from a lot of good people, and I can promise every single one of you that your life is more valuable than someone else's hatred or anger or personal struggles. A very good friend of mine once shared a quote with me that I live by today, and I'd like to share it with all of you. What other people think of me is none of my business, and the time that I waste thinking about it is time that I will never get back. Another good friend of mine told me in a time of need and great sorrow that if it doesn't matter 2 years from now, then it doesn't matter. Neither of these things could be more true. I have hoped for a better future for myself and for every single one of you because I have been at that all-time low, that point of despair where your whole ability to live comes into question, and I made it through. This year, I thought I was free of these feelings, but even these past 2 months have been difficult for me. In October, I was very certain that taking my life was the only solution. I was wrong. It's the easiest solution, but not the only one. In the face of bullying, the only thing you can do is realize that hatred is just an ignorant mind attempting to express itself, and that the people who bully you are the weakest of people. There's something beautiful inside of all of us that no one should ever be able to take from you. We were born into the minority, and for that reason alone, we suffer. It's wrong, unfair, and brutally difficult, but I have faith in the strength and integrity of the people here. I feel the power of your love, and and your hope and your strength, and it's colossal. The only thing that we can do is love ourselves and be the best that we can be. Life is not a competition, it's not a fight, or at least it shouldn't be. Living a life full of love, acceptance, and kindness is our responsibility. I have hope for a better future because I'm living the better future that I created for myself. And every single person here can do the same, because we are all incredible and have the capacity to do so. Be strong, be brave, be you. Thank you.
Months ago with ISIS, and I fell in love with him. I wanted to just embrace him and give him all these little smoochies because he was so brave, and what he says at the end, to be strong, be proud, be you, is so right. And that's why these kids came together also, to spread awareness for bullying and teen suicide, but also to let everyone know that it does get better. There is life after high school, and if we just be true to ourselves, we be the best people that we can be, we spread love, we spread kindness, the world will be our oyster.
Yes.
I think we have another drag queen performance next. I need to start strutting around like Isis did, with her heels. I got high heels tonight.